All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to review the Master Pro, the beast. Now, shout out to EUC Vibes, but first I want to say, guys, always remember to wear your gear, some gear, gloves, wrist guards, helmet, knee pads for sure. All right, something. You never know what's going to happen at any time. We are on one wheel after all. But anyway, we're here to test this thing out, this amazing machine by the Goad. Now, shout out to EUC Vibes, like I said. After a race between this and the V13, I guess he was impressed with the V13, and he was like, hey, why don't you take this for a month and see if you could unlock the speed? You know what I'm saying? Not literally unlock like the V13, but, you know, push it to its limits and see what it's really made out of. First things first, I can say is that this wheel is amazing, right? In the sense that it's a big wheel, but the agility, the maneuverability, the acceleration. So because there is no handle, you'll have to hold it by the bottom lip and just yank it back while you're leaning backwards. That's really the major disadvantage in terms of design for me. Also, if you look, this thing has really bad aerodynamics, okay? 100% bad. Number one is because this thing is completely square. You have this space right here, so a lot of air can go through, which is good, but obviously you're gonna have a lot of turbulence because of the wire and the suspension. Also, what you have on this side is this right here. Air comes through, gets through here, kind of throws you off course, you know what I'm saying? Another thing I don't like is this right here. You have all these gaps or all these recessed plastic pieces where water can pretty much hang out and possibly do damage. It's just not a good design in terms of aerodynamics, either for water or for wind. If you look, the first 80% of the wheel is all heavy material, right? And then at the very last 20% you have nothing. So basically what I'm saying is the center of balance is still pretty good, but it's not as good as it could be because this ends up being a really bad situation for the wind. So because the wheel feels extremely light due to the fact that it has no body, it's just 4 battery packs, a motor, and the top part, in the wind, this can feel extremely dodgy. Oh my gosh, wind almost got me. Shit. Oh shit. Oh man, you see that? I find myself having to fight the wind pretty much on every ride. This is not because it's a windy day. It's not windy. It's just the wind that it generates while cruising at these high speeds. Even though it seems like this was a rush design, I think Bigode had something really good in their thought process when designing this. Obviously, this came from the Master, the original Master, and they just took it from there. But this thing has a modular design, right? So it makes it really easy to work with, but it's a two-edged sword because it also makes it very brittle. So one thing that happened during the crash is this right here. This crack came because of like less than 40-mile-per-hour crash, dude. And this thing cracked all the way down. And what's worse is this right here. You see? So the metal piece that connects the battery fastener or retainer is cracked. Now, I'm not sure if I did that, but I'm pretty sure it happened during the crash. I'm not sure what material this is made of. It's probably aluminum, but if you can look on the side, you can see this white part right here. It's completely sheared off. See that? It's sheared off completely. So the impact was strong enough to dislodge that tiny piece from the main frame. So that's not encouraging at all. Okay, so another thing that Bigode did really well is centering the trolley handle. And it's been working well for the most part. Push it. Sometimes it gets a little iffy, but there's 2 settings, this and then this. Okay? So it's pretty good, and it hides the charging ports right over there. This LCD is really good, in my opinion. When you sit down or when you're standing and looking down, it's pretty big, so you know you can kind of see what's going on, how fast you're going, etc. There are just some minor things that make this wheel just annoying. Is that you have the screws in here that's recessed all the way in, but what happens is if you end up being too rough with this top piece, it just comes out. It just comes off because it rips off. So I'm not sure what Bigode was thinking by putting a piece of metal on foam and expecting that to be like the main support, but that was a bad idea. cheap for them, good for us, I guess, in the sense that it's a little bit more affordable. This tail light is a pretty good design, could be brighter. The issue is this cable right here. Why is it here exposed like that? This frayed a little bit because of the crash. You see this? This is just not a good idea to be exposed like that. Either way, what you need to know about Begode is it's all about performance. It's not really about looks. It's not really about aesthetics. It's more about functionality. And this thing is extremely functional. So what do I mean by that? If you buy like a KS22 right now, for example, beautiful wheel, right? Well, great design, great aerodynamics, etc., great suspension, but where the motor power is concerned, this thing is just not where it's at. It has no power whatsoever. No matter how many upgrades they tend to make, the underlying functionality of the motor is just not there. So it doesn't matter how many times they improve on it, unless they completely revamp the motor and the firmware, it's just not going to do well overall for most people. So, but Begode is known for one thing, performance, and that's one area that they never compromise on. So this is why we keep buying Begode, and I'll always like them. So there we go. All right, so now I'm gonna give you guys a little insight into my setup, pretty much how I configured this wheel so that, you know, it's more comfortable for me. All right, so what I did was I took out the Grizzly pads because I'm not sure if it's because of the type of Velcro that the Grizzly has on it. I might have to change it to something more robust, but I took it out and placed my pads because, as you can see, I have a bigger surface area than the Grizzly pads. The Grizzly pads are pretty much two separate pieces, so one here, one there. So it doesn't take advantage of the entire surface area of these two batteries. Plus there's this gap making it a lot less sticky. So this thing goes from front to back, all right? It has a lot better grip. This works for me quite well. And second, because of that, I actually end up keeping these pedals on because the pads work for me. Also, this thing has 3 levels in terms of pedal height. So you can adjust it. All you have to do is unscrew these, move it up. So you have 1, 2, 3 levels. I decided to keep it at the first level so that the center of balance is as low as possible. Because as I stated earlier, because this thing has 80% weight at the top and at the last 20%, there's pretty much nothing. It kind of makes it feel a little bit top heavy, especially in the wind, okay? Regarding the pressure, I put as much as possible. Way above 300. And I only weigh 185 roughly. This is where you place the air, and this is your dampener. Okay, how much rebound would you like? Oh, and I can't believe I forgot to mention this. This kickstand or rest stand is probably the best design ever on a big EUC. They did add some shoes. It's kind of cheap shoes, this plastic piece. Not bad, and it's spring-loaded. Gives this really good effect of snapping. Snaps up, snaps down. Love it. Before you had to purchase the mudguard separately with every wheel, but this one just comes with it. The EX30 comes with it. Beautiful. I believe the Master comes with it. So they've made some major improvements. Just, you know, aesthetics and aerodynamics is just out the window. But overall, functionality is still top notch. All right, let's see if I like this rebound. No, I like it a little bit more bouncy. So that's the thing, there's no instructions whether right is more, left is less. Oh man, no rebound. Well, very little. Don't like that. Yeah, this is good. This is good. All right, so basically, I turned it all the way to the right and a little bit to the left for my weight, 180, 185. We know that this thing is 4,800 watt hours, right? That's about 4 times, a little over 4 times than that of the original S18. So a lot of battery. And second, Begode decided to give us a beautiful street tire with a lot of grip for the rain. So I'm guessing this is a sticky one, because if you can look, I mean, look at it. It's pretty deep, you know, these deep grooves. This is a lot better option than what the InMotion V13 is equipped with. The InMotion V13 has the knobby tire. Sounds great, is great. Problem is a lot of resistance, and the wheel is already heavy as it is, so the less resistance would have been a better option with a street tire. But hey, to each their own. I would have preferred a street tire on the V13. So, give credit to where credit is due. Look at these knobs. I'm not sure if EUC Vibes was the one that put this on there, but this looks really good, really beefy. And same back here too. So I'm guessing this is a Begode setup. I like that. Little details like that mean a lot to me, you know what I mean? Instead of rubber, this is a metal piece. It's beautiful. Also, I like the positioning of the suspension. It's all the way recessed into the machine. It's just hidden away. I love it. Overall, the look and design of this machine, although not aerodynamically sound, it's actually really good. If you get like a fairing for it, I'm sure you could get some real good aerodynamic looks on this. So despite both issues I just mentioned, both cracks that is, I feel confident riding this wheel. You know why? Because it's a Big O. And the way Big O designed this is that the main wheel has pretty much one support, and that is the suspension, right? The suspension, which is built into the frame. That is pretty much the main support of the wheel. So even though this thing is a little, you know, iffy, that's not a support. It's a support for the battery, not necessarily for the rider. So I could, in all theory, ride this thing with 3 battery packs installed. It would be a little bit unstable. Wouldn't recommend it, but you could do it. So let's take it out for a spin and see how this thing rides. All right, guys, so first impression on this wheel is that it is big. Not while I'm on it though. If you have one leg on it before you start riding, you can feel the top of the wheel kind of like trying to, you know, throw you off because it's so big. If it's your first time, obviously it's gonna be something for you to overcome. But now that I'm riding, it's almost as if I don't feel the weight. Suspension feels good. I do feel a little bit of knocking here and there, but for the most part, everything is good. I mean, remember, this is a big wheel, so the pounding is gonna be a lot more pronounced than smaller wheels, you know what I'm saying? So right now, let me see how far I can lean it before it falls. Okay, so I think it's because I've been working out my legs lately. So yeah, see, look, takeoff is a lot better than the V13. A lot better. That car is trying to leave me, but he doesn't know what I'm riding. He has no clue. Anyway, let's go here. Turning is good. I don't really have to anticipate it as much as the V13. The V13 is a lot heavier wheel, as I said before, and I'll keep mentioning that because that is the main distinguishing factor between these two wheels, is the weight and the feel of it. The V13 feels heavy. This one is heavy. The V13 feels heavy. All right. So here we go. Acceleration is pretty good on this. Very good, very good. Love it. Same as the V13. V13's acceleration is quite good as well, but like I said, there's a lot of resistance with that tire. Oh my gosh, the wind is crazy on this. I don't have this same feeling on the V13, dude, and it's a tall wheel as well. They're both tall wheels. They're both tall wheels, but the InMotion handles the wind a lot better than this. This is like a straightaway, doing 50 right now. 50 miles an hour right now, no big deal. So that's another thing about this, the Goat, is that it seems like I get to 50 miles an hour a lot faster than I can with the InMotion. There's very little effort when trying to achieve 50 miles an hour, but the wind is something you cannot ignore. So here we go, stopping. Now what we're gonna do is let's go some back roads, because what I'd like to see is how this thing maneuvers around some crazy roads. All right, so let's do that. Last night I went for a quick ride on the EX30, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of info, but the EX30 feels back to normal, man. Like, holy smokes. It's low down to the ground, center of balance is perfect, more than I can ask for. Wind is not an issue, but now I'm on this Master Pro, and I'm mostly concerned about balancing in the wind. Now remember, it's not a windy day. This is mostly how I feel because of the wind it generates. Because I'm so high up. Let me see if I can maneuver a little bit. Yep, I can. Yeah. Oh. Good. Maneuvering is good. But yeah, I'm feeling great. Feeling quite good. I had a lot of ride time with the V13 and this combined, so I'm a little bit more comfortable than I would be if I had just got on it. Pacheco. The way Pacheco moves is awesome, dude. Trying to see if I could mimic him a little bit here. Oh shit! I almost ran into a car, dude. Oh my gosh. And that's the thing about this too. If you decide to take risk, make sure that the risk is well calculated, because that car was moving, but there was no signals. So while I thought it was going straight, it was actually taking a left. So I was literally heading right into it. So if this was the EX30, it wouldn't matter. I'd just go around it quickly. But there was at least a second delay, which means a lot in the world of riding. So if you feel a certain way before you ride, pay attention to that, because right now my aura is 80%. 80% in terms of like being able to anticipate what could possibly happen right now, like a bad situation. In other words, I have about 80% confidence in today's ride. Not good. I like to be at least 90, 95%. But that's good. That just means you have to be extra careful. All right. Look at that. I'm ready at 40. Ready at 50. Oh my gosh. What? Yeah, dude, this thing is insanely fast. 50 miles an hour is not a big deal. Wow. The only doubt I'm having right now is for braking. If I had a handle, I would be a little bit more confident, but because I don't have a handle, I'm not so confident as I am with the V13. The V13 allows me to be extremely reckless because I have a contingency. You know what I mean? This one does not. So, see, look, brake. See, look how, oh man. That's the only thing, man. This thing needs a handle. I need to get a handle for this. Sitting is like so natural. Like, look, up, down. I don't even need hands. Up, down. No big deal. Man, I have the suspension set up perfectly. This is awesome. So, boom, just like that. See that? I want to ride in some turns. All right, let me see. This is a turn. Let's do that. Ugh. All right, here's a turn. Here's another turn. What's this car doing? This car is confused. Hate confused cars. Confused cars are the worst. But otherwise, the ride is smooth. It's predictable. Just some minor issues with the wind. All right, let's try to make some crazy turns to see how this thing handles the turns. All right, okay, left. Let's turn left. All right. Ugh. Pretty good, pretty good. Acceleration. Yes. Brake. Oh gosh, brake. Turn. Woo, my gosh. Braking is very important, guys. Brake. Just remember, the speed is up there. It's fast. So, gotta give yourself a lot of time to decide what you're gonna do next. Unless you're really comfortable with this thing. Turn in here. Brake. Turn in. Oh yeah. Yes. Leg open. Yep. There you go.
That thing's sick, dude.
I know. Thank you. Oh, I just love how natural it is to sit. So we're in Chinatown right now. A lot of people around. A lot of stops. A lot of stoplights. A lot of cars not knowing what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So you need to be able to maneuver on a dime, if you're riding fast, that is. But this thing is good. I feel very comfortable. The ride confidence is about 80% for me. That's after riding it like several times to at least get used to the weight. And another thing that increases ride confidence is make sure your pads, make sure everything is set up properly. So your pads, your settings, your ride settings, and try to do like some risky things, not in places like this, but try to do some risky things so that you know, you end up making more mistakes. So the quicker you make mistakes, the better. Yeah, let's go. Woo. Nice. Okay, so we are here at this makeshift track. There's not many people around. We might encounter 1 or 2 people, but I'm here to test the V13 versus the Master Pro. The whole point is to ride across this place to see how fast I can make it across the track. That will account for maneuverability, acceleration, braking, etc. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna start by this rock and go as fast as I can, go around, come back here. Let's see how long it takes. I don't have a timer, so we're just gonna have to figure this out on the video. Let's go. All right, ready, set, go. Yes, come on. Woo. All right, let's go. Oh my gosh. Okay, can't see anyone. There's one guy, one person right behind you. Thank you very much, man. All right, thank you, thank you. All right, here's another. Come on, let's go. Whoa, woo! Go, 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 go. Let's go. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Go, go, go. Braking is pretty good on this thing. Turning is really good. Come on, come on. Turn and accelerate. Come on, let's go, let's go. Let's go. And we're almost there. And we passed it. Woo! All right. All right. That was fantastic. I felt I could push it more, but I wasn't inclined to because I don't really know this track that well. It's dark. I didn't want it to get too dark, you know what I'm saying? But this is perfect temperature for the V13 because last time I ran this thing hot and it shut down on me, so this is perfect cool temperature. Now for the V13, just one round, guys. It's getting dark. Let's go. Ready, go. Let's go. Lean. Woo. Takeoff was a lot better on the Gotway. Oh my gosh, this thing is amazing. It's so fast, but oh gosh, but a lot of wobbles compared. Oh my gosh, that's the issue. It's so heavy, you can feel. It's a lot of work, unlike the the Master Pro. Woo! It's a lot of work in the corner. Oh my gosh, I have to give it all I got. Whereas with the Master, I don't have to work so hard. Oh gosh. Oh, come on, go. I'm kind of worried about the turns too because of the wobble. Oh, wow. And we got it. Oh my gosh. Woo! Talk about a workout on the V13. Ah! Oh my gosh. So, in a straight line, in motion has like a lot of leverage over the goat because of the weight. You feel the speed, whereas in corners and turning and all that, oh my gosh, scary beast, scary. Oh, but overall I have to say it was more fun to race on a circuit with the Master Pro than it is on the V13. 100%. Takeoff is good, turning is good, everything's predictable. I got no wobbles whatsoever on the circuit, meaning if I'm accelerating and I come to a turn and I have to slow down and then accelerate again, or I have to turn wide in the apex or in the whatever, it's very predictable and manageable with the Master Pro, extremely. But with the V13, it is scary as hell. In a straight line, this thing is beautiful. On a circuit, not so much. But Obviously, like with anything, with more training, more experience, better pads, maybe change the settings, you might be able to get away with it. So there we go. Master Pro on the circuit all day. So we're gonna compare the light. This is the Begode light. There are two settings for Begode. This is when it's at rest, and when it's moving, it gets brighter. So this is Begode. All right, let's turn off the Begode. And this is in motion. Let me see. It has only one setting. So in motion only has one setting. So the difference is, in motion seems to project farther forward than the Begode. Is it brighter? I don't know. Let's compare. All right, so this is the in motion. This is Begode. Nope. So I wouldn't say in motion is brighter. I would just say that it projects farther. So let's compare them both together. Okay. See? So there you go. So I would say in motion is a tad bit brighter. Tad bit brighter. Not much more brighter, but a tad brighter, because it projects farther. So all right, so just like that, guys, it's day again, and we have both wheels right here. So what I can say is that, you know, both suspensions are obviously very different. You guys know this already. This is, you know, nicknamed the pogo stick, and here you have an actual true suspension with linkages and everything, dampening. Now I can say for sure it's a lot easier to set the dampening on here versus here. This is like overcomplicated for no reason. You have to take this out, take out the other side, and adjust some screws from the inside with an extra part that you can't really carry with you. Obviously, we know that this has very little range. This is insane range. Both have amazing speeds, but if I were to choose between the two for riding or long cruising, it would have to be the Master Pro because of the range. It would have to be this because it handles the wind a lot better. This was a nice little race, but as you can see, both of them pretty much crossed the finish line at the same time with milliseconds to spare. Both wheels can be raced on a track, but as you saw in the video, this one requires a lot of work, whereas this one, I don't know, man. This 4500 watt on this one takes very little effort to push, whereas this one, holy smokes, you got to give it your all. We are back on the road. Don't worry, I'm just closing out the video now. So here's what I'm gonna say. It is a windy freaking day today. Holy smokes. What I can say is, between those two wheels, they both have their strengths and they both have their weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? The Master Pro has its strength in the sense that crazy range, easy takeoff, okay, no hard working for fun. Whereas the V13 has, man, it's an all-in-one wheel that feels succinct. You know what I'm saying? The technology is completely set. Everything is fine-tuned. There's a body, high quality, amazing technology. However, it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of effort to get what you want out of it. What's worse is the battery. Today is an example of when I would absolutely use the V13. Today is insanely windy. I just went out with my brothers. We went kayaking on the Charles River. It was a beautiful time. But one thing that was noticeable was the wind, and all I could think about was, damn it, how am I gonna finish my video? Which wheel am I gonna ride? The Master Pro is probably the first wheel I've ever had where I was concerned about, you know, the wind. So I saw a lot of people riding the V13 on a track, and it didn't really turn out well for a lot of them because it's a circuit. If it's more like a straight track, then yeah, I could understand using the V13 because of that power. But turns and stuff, it's gonna tire out your muscles faster than you expected. So Master Pro all day on a circuit. Woo! But overall, guys, both wheels are amazing. I hope you enjoy yourselves. And one more thing. V13, baby! V13! Why? Because the wind is insane right now. the kayaking made me a little hungry, you know what I'm saying? So, after an awesome morning of kayaking with the brothers, have you guys ever tried the Chipotle avocado chicken melt? I recommend you guys try it. Stop by Panera and check this out. What would you like, V13? What? Okay, so this wheel stopped balancing. It tilted back and gave me this error. Fault, battery failed. Please do not charge the battery. Normal power off failed. Warning by battery. Please do not drive excessively. Battery protected. In motion, why?